I know you're tired. But it's not the kind of tired that comes from doing too much. It's the kind of tired that comes from being stuck. From feeling like you're pushing against something that won't move. From expending enormous amounts of energy and ending up in exactly the same place you started. You wake up already depleted. Not because you didn't sleep, but because you're waking up to another day of the same stuckness. Another day of trying to move forward and getting nowhere. Another day of feeling trapped in a version of your life that doesn't fit anymore but that you can't seem to change. And that stuckness, that prolonged state of effort without movement, it drains you in ways that nothing else does. Because effort is supposed to produce results. Action is supposed to create change. Trying is supposed to eventually lead somewhere. But you're trying and trying and trying, and nothing is moving. And that disconnect between effort and result, that's what's draining you. Not the effort itself, but the fact that the effort doesn't seem to matter. You're like someone pushing against a wall. You push and push and push, using all your strength, all your energy, all your focus. And the wall doesn't budge. Not even a little. And you step back, exhausted, and the wall is exactly where it was. And all that effort, all that energy you expended, it went nowhere. It produced nothing. It changed nothing. And that kind of effort that doesn't produce movement, it's exponentially more draining than effort that does. Because when effort produces results, you get energy back. You get the reward of seeing change. You get the momentum of movement. You get the validation that your efforts matter. But when effort doesn't produce results, when you push and nothing moves, you don't get any energy back. You just drain and drain and drain with nothing coming in to replenish you. You're operating at a constant deficit. Spending energy without any return. And eventually, that deficit becomes unsustainable. You don't have anything left. Not because you're weak. Not because you're not trying hard enough. But because you've been pushing against something immovable for so long that you've exhausted every reserve you had. And now you're running on empty. And the stuckness is still there. And you still feel like you should be trying to get unstuck. But you don't have the energy to try anymore. You're too depleted. Too drained. Too exhausted from all the previous trying that went nowhere. So you stop trying as hard. Not because you've given up, exactly. But because your system is protecting itself. It's conserving what little energy remains because it knows that if you keep pushing against the immovable wall, you'll completely collapse. And that pulling back, that reduction in effort, it makes you feel like you're failing. Like you're giving up. Like if you were stronger or more determined or more resilient, you'd keep pushing no matter how drained you feel. But that's not true. What you're experiencing isn't failure. It's what happens when a system reaches the end of its capacity for unrewarded effort. You're not weak for being drained. You're human. And human systems can't sustain high effort indefinitely without seeing results. You need the feedback loop. You need to see that your efforts produce effects. You need the reward of movement, of change, of something shifting to validate that the energy you're spending is worth spending. And you're not getting that. You're in a phase where effort doesn't produce visible results. Where pushing doesn't create movement. Where trying doesn't seem to change anything. And your system is responding exactly as systems respond to that reality. It's conserving energy. It's pulling back from effort that doesn't produce return. It's trying to prevent total collapse by forcing you to stop pushing against the immovable wall. But you don't understand that. You just feel the exhaustion, the depletion, the sense that you've run out of whatever it takes to keep trying. And you make that mean something about your character, about your strength, about whether you really want change or whether you're just not willing to do what it takes. But it's not about willingness. It's about capacity. And you've exceeded yours. Not because you're deficient, but because you've been in conditions that drain without replenishing for longer than any system can sustain. Think about a phone battery that's constantly being used but never fully charged. It drains and drains and drains. And maybe you plug it in sometimes, try to charge it, but it never gets back to full. It never gets the time or conditions it needs to actually replenish. So it's operating at 20%, then 15%, then 10%, barely holding enough charge to stay functional. That's you. That's what the stuckness has done. You've been draining and draining without the conditions to actually replenish. And now you're at 5%. Maybe less. Barely functional. Barely holding on. With nothing left to give to the effort of trying to get unstuck. And you think the solution is to try harder. To push through the exhaustion. To force yourself to keep going despite having nothing left. Because that's what you've been taught. That resilience means never giving up. That strength means pushing through no matter what. But that's not what resilience means here. Here, resilience means recognizing when the pushing is draining you and choosing to stop. Choosing to conserve what little energy you have left instead of spending it on efforts that aren't producing movement anyway. Because the truth is, you're not stuck because you're not pushing hard enough. You're stuck because you're in a phase that doesn't respond to pushing. A phase where movement happens internally, invisibly, at a pace you can't control or accelerate through effort. And all you're pushing, all you're trying to force movement, it's not making the phase go faster. It's just draining you. Using up energy that you need for other things. Energy that you need to actually live your life instead of just fighting against the stuckness. So the solution isn't more effort. The solution is less. Less pushing. Less trying to force movement that isn't available yet. Less fighting against reality. Less spending energy on things that don't produce return. And I know that sounds like giving up. It sounds like accepting defeat. It sounds like you're supposed to just resign yourself to being stuck forever. But that's not what it is. It's recognizing that your depletion is real. That you don't have unlimited energy to keep spending on unrewarded effort. That conserving your energy isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's your system trying to protect you from complete collapse. So listen to that. Listen to the exhaustion. Listen to the part of you that's saying, I can't keep pushing like this. I don't have anything left. That part isn't weak. That part is being realistic about your capacity. About what's sustainable. About what you can actually do versus what you think you should be able to do. And what you can actually do right now is stop pushing against the wall. Stop trying to force movement in a phase that doesn't move through force. Stop draining yourself fighting against something that isn't going to budge no matter how hard you push. Just stop. Not forever. Not as a permanent giving up. Just for now. Just long enough to let your system stop hemorrhaging energy. Long enough to stabilize at whatever low battery percentage you're at instead of continuing to drain toward zero. And that stopping, that conservation of energy, it won't make the stuckness magically disappear. You'll still be in the phase you're in. Still waiting for internal processes to complete that you have no control over. But you'll stop draining. You'll stop spending energy on efforts that don't produce return. You'll stop exhausting yourself pushing against immovable walls. And in that stopping, in that conservation, you'll have a little more energy available for actually living. For being present. For engaging with what's actually here instead of constantly fighting against what isn't changing. You won't suddenly have full energy. You won't suddenly feel rested and restored. But you'll stop actively draining. And that's something. That's the beginning of not collapsing completely. Because right now, you're on the edge of collapse. You're so depleted from the constant unrewarded effort that you barely have enough to function. And if you keep pushing, if you keep trying to force movement, you will collapse. Your system will shut down completely as a last resort to protect itself. So don't let it get there. Stop before you collapse. Conserve before you have nothing left to conserve. Pull back from the effort. From the pushing. From the trying to make something happen that isn't happening. And just be here. In the stuckness. Without fighting it. Without trying to escape it. Without spending energy you don't have on efforts that aren't working. Just be here. Depleted but not draining further. Exhausted but not pushing yourself past exhaustion. At low battery but not actively dying. And let that be enough for now. Let stopping the drain be the goal instead of forcing movement. Because you can't force this phase to end. You can only stop draining yourself trying. And in that stopping, you preserve what little energy remains. You give your system a chance to stabilize instead of spiraling into complete depletion. That's all you need to do. Stop draining. Stop pushing. Stop trying to force what won't be forced. And be here. In the stuckness. Without the additional drain of fighting it. That's not giving up. That's surviving. That's recognizing your limits and honoring them instead of pushing past them into collapse. So honor them. Honor the exhaustion. Honor the depletion. Honor the truth that you don't have energy to keep pushing against walls that won't move. And stop pushing. Not because you're weak. But because pushing isn't working and continuing to push is draining you beyond what's sustainable. The wall will move when it moves. The phase will end when it ends. And that won't happen faster because you pushed harder. It'll just happen. In its own time. According to processes you don't control. And in the meantime, you need to conserve. To stop draining. To preserve what little energy you have left instead of spending it on efforts that don't produce return. That's the only way through this part. Not more effort. Less. Not more pushing. Stopping. And in that stopping, that conservation, that honoring of your very real depletion, you give yourself a chance to not collapse completely. To stay functional even while stuck. To preserve enough energy to actually live instead of spending it all fighting against what won't change yet. So stop fighting. Stop pushing. Stop draining yourself. And just be here. Stuck but not actively draining. Exhausted but not pushing past exhaustion into collapse. That's enough. That's all you can do. That's all your system needs from you right now. Just stop draining. And let yourself be depleted without making it worse. That's not giving up. That's the only sustainable way to be in a phase that drains without replenishing. So be in it. Without the drain of fighting it. Without the additional exhaustion of pushing against it. Just be in it. Conserving what little you have left. Waiting for your energy to stabilize instead of continuing to plummet. That's the work right now. Not pushing. Conserving. Not forcing. Allowing. Not fighting. Surviving. And surviving is enough. When you're this depleted, surviving is everything. So survive. By stopping the drain. By pulling back from unrewarded effort. By honoring your exhaustion instead of pushing through it. That's all. That's enough. That's what you need to do. Stop draining. And let yourself just be. Stuck but stable. Exhausted but not collapsing. That's the only way through the part that drains you. Not by pushing harder. By finally stopping the push. So stop. And let yourself rest in the stuckness. Without adding the drain of fighting it. That's all you need. That's all your system can handle. That's enough. Just stop draining. And be here. However depleted. However stuck. Without making it worse by continuing to push against what won't move. Just be. And conserve. And survive. That's the work. That's all there is. That's enough.